Welcome to Vivo Pro Kabaddi Brandplay. My name is Dheeraj Juneja, and this is the show where we bring the brand representatives of some of our esteemed sponsors on Season 8 of Vivo Pro Kabaddi as they share their thoughts about associating with India's second biggest sporting league. So our guest today on Vivo Pro Kabaddi Brandplay is Anurita Chopra, Chief Marketing Officer, India Subcontinent at GSK Consumer Healthcare, and GSK is proudly associated with Vivo Pro Kabaddi. My first question to you, Anurita, is have you had a chance to watch Vivo Pro Kabaddi Season 8? What are your thoughts about the season so far?
Well, Dheeraj, thanks for asking me the first leading question in itself. But absolutely, it's been yet again a highly compelling season. And I think viewers are hooked as expected and as usual. And I'm very glad to see that both UP Yodas as well as the Tamil Talaivas are doing pretty well. So yes, I do keep in touch.
You're based in Gurgaon. You're supporting Tamil Talaivas and UP Yodas. I thought there was some support for Delhi Dabangs who are really playing this season well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I'm going to root for the teams that we are supporting from an IRX perspective for sure.
Good one there, good one. But I think, and you would agree to the fact that this league has completely revolutionized this homebred sport of Kabaddi. What are your thoughts about being able to derive a strong associative value out of this partnership?
Well, actually, I think this particular partnership, or rather the property, has come at a very good time. And for us, as IRX, we've been a brand which has been a strong heritage brand for India for generations. But we had a need to contemporize the brand and make it very, very relevant to the youth of today. And what better but to ride on a sport which also has had years and years, in fact, decades and centuries of history in India, especially connected to the roots of India, but today consumable and being consumed in a very, very contemporary and youthful format. So it's a blending of two cultures. It's a blending of two cults, actually, which have been part of Indian lore. And therefore, I think the sponsorship and the association is possibly meant to be.
I really need to know what were your key motivation behind associating your brand with Star Sports for Vivo Pro Kabaddi Season 8? And what are your brand's marketing objectives that you seek to achieve from the TV association with Vivo Pro Kabaddi?
First and foremost, it was really nice to see the kind of viewership and the kind of format. It's a very young and short capsule format, which is totally, IPL taught us how cricket could be consumed in short capsules. Similarly, Pro Kabaddi has completely revived and regenerated sport that we are all familiar with, but haven't really then dabbled in too much over the years. But suddenly it's in vogue. Suddenly it's the talk of the town. Suddenly people are talking about Pro Kabaddi, and suddenly, therefore, it's something that's caught the fancy of the young generation. And that was pretty much part of our marketing objective, and is part of our marketing objective for IRX as well, that here is a trusted brand which has been associated with aches and pains. But more importantly, it takes care of all the, physical-led aches and pains that somebody goes through. Now, again, that's sweetly sitting together in the Kabaddi space, because here are people who are clearly fit people and wrestling it out, battling it out on ground, and clearly that would certainly walk them down a path of aches and pains. And which other brand who should they be thinking of but a brand that can relieve them of this, which is IRX.
I totally believe you. But for a brand like yours, what role does advertising on television in a live sports event like Vivo Pro Kabaddi play vis-a-vis advertising on other content genres?
Advertising, or rather association in such properties, is always very relevant, because at one level, in fact, I'll answer this question in two different ways. One is the advertising that you generally do, where you build the overall brand and the message and what you're really wanting to stand for. And then there is the kind of content that you seek in terms of partnership opportunities, which by sheer association, through the kind of content that is, will give back certain values to the brand. So in this particular case, versus other sponsorships or associations that we do, here is a very, very physically agile kind of a sport, and it tests all levels of actually agility, fitness, strength, resilience, a lot of these values are what we definitely want to ensure that the youth of today understands is IODEX values as well, a set of values that IODEX lives, breathes, and endorses. So it's really a partnership in that sense, made in heaven, where both the values are coming together. And that's why this particular property stood out for us versus any other for IODEX.
Nice to know that. Also, some of the biggest brands in India as well as globally have built a strong consumer connect as a result of multi-year association. For example, Pepsi on Super Bowl, Byju's and See It on cricket, Barclays on Premier League with live sports. Is this something GSK would look to capitalize on?
Again, it totally, these are things, these are trends which are here to stay. And as you rightly said, that long-term associations always start paying back to the brand, because you gain a certain leverage because of the association and the residual connect. So of course, we are always looking for partnerships, associations which yield the right results, both for the property as well as for the partner. And if it pays the right results in terms of all that we are seeking, and any partner would seek, definitely we would explore long-term associations.
Also, Anurita, when we talk about Vivo Pro Kabaddi and the advertising part, brand solutioning is one big thing, such as contextual features, fan engagement activations, and branded segments is unparalleled. How do you think a healthcare and hygiene brand like GSK can creatively leverage sporting partnerships in Vivo Pro Kabaddi to create differentiated brand solutions?
Well, actually, it's totally, frankly, I keep saying that it totally depends on the brand's imagination. So the limit is your ability to think, and the limit is your ability to execute. But in this particular case, for example, I've already talked about how we've partnered with UP Yodas and Tamil Talaivas, where we've taken players, and of course, these players have, on the basis of usage of the product, endorsed the product. We have live content, because what better than testimonials? What better than actually showing the brand being relevant to the players of the teams that you're associating with? So there are various ways of doing it, and you're absolutely right that the more compelling and engaging the content is, the more you've made yourself as a brand relevant to both your TG as well as to the property.
Right. And lastly, is it a dream wish that UP Yodas and Tamil Talaivas clash in the finals?
That would be a fun match for sure. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing more and more action and anything that makes for compelling viewing and enjoyment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. And it was great to have a conversation with somebody who's breaking the boundaries and achieving milestones, just like this league is trying to do as well.
Fantastic from my side as well. All the best. Look forward.